Broads Media.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Broads. 5-0. 5-0. All they do is kick ass. They don't even play their best. And it's win after win after win. It's a cover on the road, a 4-point favorite. They win by 9. And I had zero issues with the way they handled things. Brian Johnson, Nick Sirianni with the final frame. Go up 9. 4 minutes or so to go. They won't beat you. You change the narrative of Cooper Kupp in the second half. And look, in the beginning, you had to definitely plug and play. I don't know why Goodrich was option number 1. I didn't necessarily love some of the things they threw. Morrow was matched up on them. Then they went to Roby. Even Slay got beat a few times. But if you put your best corner on Cooper Kupp, I won't be aggravated with you whatsoever. Sometimes great players make plays, and other times you are in the position to win the battle. So it is what it is. You tip your cap, but I thought, you're just throwing so many different things at the wall. I don't know if maybe the best thing would have been either go with Roby right from the rip, or you go Bradbury back in the slot and have Josh Jobe play on the outside. It was scorching you constantly. But credit to Sean Desai, someone who's working with an extremely banged-up secondary. You don't have Fletcher Cox available, and he found a way in-game to completely flip the script. We weren't talking Cooper Kupp at all. Actually, it got so down bad for him that they were mentioning, well, that was the first catch since the first half. So much time was bleeding off the clock, whether it's because you're stopping Cooper Kupp or your offense churns and churns and churns their legs. Jalen Hurts on third down, using his legs. Just as a team, I said churning the legs. As a collective group, the offense just moves downfield and milks the clock. 16 plays, 15 plays, 17 plays, 9 minutes, 8.5 minutes. Yeah, the red zone needs to be worked on. There's no doubt about it. I'm sick of the Kenneth Gainwell stuff. I don't love everything you're doing with Jalen Hurts. You need 7. You know that scene from Friends when Monica? 7. Okay, that's what you need, and those are the type of orgasms you are supposed to have when you score a touchdown against an opponent on the road, even though it doesn't sound like the road, because there's a billion Eagles fans that travel to L.A. and take your entire stadium over. That place was loud as hell, and when Hassan Reddick got to the quarterback, and when Hassan Reddick, finished it off, I was nuts. That's the only time I was nuts. I'm never nuts other times elsewhere in my life. It's just that. But man, he was on a different tear during that final frame. It took him a little bit last year, so maybe it just has something to do with what was on his hand. He never felt comfortable. I bet you 5, 6, 7 weeks down the road, 5, 6, 7 games, we look back at the breakout happened in Los Angeles. The breakout happened when Matthew Stafford, that came up and bang, dude gets popped a few times. Amazing. Jalen Carter had some good stuff too. Dude's barreling through double teams. It's unbelievable. And speaking of unbelievable defensive tackles, you did face Aaron Donald. No Cam Jurgens. Here's Opeta. And Lane Johnson, the highlight package on this guy going up against anybody. So much time for Jalen Hurts to look poised. And that's the thing about this entire offense. They may not have scored. They may not have punched in 7. But there's no doubt that Dallas Goedert and that first drive establishing something that hasn't been all year, and you desperately need it. You need Dallas Goedert. So the first drive, a lot of the scripted plays starting a game between Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni have flourished. It's been really smooth and incredible. Just during the mid-game after that, when it settles in, that's when sometimes we've seen some ugliness. But that wasn't really the case. They were connecting on third downs nicely. exactly. If it was a tush push, so be it. If it was A.J. Brown, so be it. Hell, there was even one where Kenneth Gainwell lowered his shoulder, beat the man with toughness, got a couple extra yards, which kept the drive going, and the football stayed with the Birds. So very important from everybody. I thought there was a good usage, except for maybe Devontae Smith. It was a tad quiet on his day. They even force-fed Quez, and it pisses me off that he's an idiot and can't actually run through a good block. You have 2 blocks, and you can't run through that on the left side. You can't find any sort of green grass to get an extra couple yards and move the sticks. Like, that's pathetic. So there's no way you deserve any sort of opportunity to put your hands up and bitch that Jalen Hurts misses you in the back of the end zone when you're running around off script. I wouldn't look in his direction ever. If it was save my life, I need Quez Watkins. I don't trust him at all. All right, that's such a simple, basic standard. That's something you learn when you're 4. When you're 4 playing football, a little Pop Warner. You know how cool the kids look when they're that small and they got their uniform on and you see them running around? Hey, your team will block. Follow your blocks. He actually almost hugged the football and gave his body up and went full speed right into their chest. Not really full speed. He was probably about 40% speed. He took a lot of gas off. I guess he took his foot off the gas because, well, I'd rather be swallowed. And what a joke. What a joke. That was the weirdest sentence I didn't think I'd ever say on a show like this. Jalen, you can't turn the football over with that interception. I like that drive, too. I wrote down exactly what that drive was before the interception. It was a nice play by Witherspoon to cut in front of A.J. Brown, but it was a mistake, and Nick Sirianni got into his face. It was a highly emotional game. All right, Jason Kelsey's upset, and he's talking to Nick, and then he goes to Jeff Stoutland. He's showing him something. I'm wondering if it has something to do with Cam Jurgens not being available, so there's miscommunication. You're on the road, but the snap count, the silent snap counts, you're not really on the road. There's really no such thing as an L.A. Rams fan. So it shouldn't really be an issue. I'm just speculating. I have no idea. You were seeing animations of something to do with the block or something to do with his hands. I don't know. I guess that's a lot different than a snap. And then where they were with the delay of game. Nick was mad. A lot of different things. But going back to that drive. All right, Swift with the first down catch. He was lined up in the slot a couple times. I really like that. Then Jalen Hurts hits Dallas Goedert for basically a 50-yard gain. And that was his best throw of the day in my eyes. They put a 300-pound man in the field to try and chase down Dallas Goedert. How stupid, how dumb can you be? That matchup favors us a billion times out of a billion. And man, it was hilarious to watch them try and bring him down. He was a magician. He was a weapon. And that's what happens when you have so much talent on this team. Do you want to take explosive plays away and you want Devontae Smith to be a non-factor? Okay, here's Goddard. Here's A.J. Brown, and then try and take Goddard out of the game. Okay, here's Devontae Smith over the top. Try and take anything else out of the game. Okay, here's DeAndre Swift and us leaning on our offensive line because they don't stop. This offensive line is a juggernaut. You're missing a right guard. You're missing a starting piece, and then here's your backup to your rookie, basically, right? Cam Jurgens sits on his ass all last year. Not really. I said that as if he wasn't working hard. I'm sure he was working hard and putting in the time to learn how to work here at Jeff Stoutland University, so don't take that for the wrong ways or the wrong reasons, okay? So he's just on the bench, though, and he's watching and he's consuming. Now we need you at right guard. He steps in, now he gets hurt, and now here's Opeta, your backup, facing Aaron Donald. Just like the Philadelphia Eagles were trying everything in their power to find an answer for Cooper Kupp. That's how they were trying to expose, I think, the Eagles' offensive line with Aaron Donald, throwing him over different linemen and trying to get him at a different spot, see if he can work off of a certain angle, and it really wasn't disruptive at all. The only thing disruptive with this game was Jalen Carter and Hassan Reddick, baby. And Sean Desai is working with a lot of nothing back there. Sidney Brown, he's not there. Fletcher Cox, he's not there. Their defensive line definitely is a strength. And their roster is deep. Excuse me, as I got the hiccups here. I chugged some water before I started, and then I started, and then now I'm somewhat grasping for, I think that's my body saying, bro, calm it down a bit. You won't make it. Okay, maybe I should listen. I will make it, though. To 6 o'clock tomorrow when the Phillies play, meaning I'm going to my bookie way before that, basically right now, and you're going to follow me too over to my bookie so you can see all the fantastic and beautiful odds. When I tell you there's a sexy deposit bonus waiting for you right now when you sign up utilizing promo code BROADS, I mean it. It's there. It's sexy. It's flat out smacking you around in the face, and you can put a nice, lovely bet on Phillies money line with Zach Wheeler. That's what I'm doing. And check this out. Starting Monday, I'm recording this on Sunday, so I'm just giving you the heads up. You get this type of information when listening to the show. When your money's on the line, choose a trusted sportsbook that gives you tools to win like MyBookie. Use MyBookie for daily odds boost, same-game parlays, and take advantage of this huge prize pool contest. MyBookie has a no-strings-attached cash bonus. But try the MyBookie money bag to grab a potential Super Bowl frontrunner at a long shot odds, like plus 38,000 on Eagles Chiefs. You won't find odds like that anywhere else. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Check the link down below in the description. Remember, that's for Monday. I was informed to tell people about that Monday, but I record Sunday night for Monday. So absolutely, you know what to do. You know what to do. And I know what this team does. They kick ass. And I asked this question when I did a post-game show on Bleacher Report before this. I did about a 20-minute hit before we recorded the Broads Media episode. And one of the chats has a poll. And I put it in the chat for the poll. I don't know why this is so difficult to explain. The question was, are you still concerned with style points? 72% said no. They don't care anymore. They moved past that because, 5 games is a large margin. It's not 2 games. It's not 3 games. The definition of the 2023 Eagles, they just win. They find ways. And this is the best I think they've looked when you're trying to duplicate 2022. Their offensive style and really the poise and patience of Jalen Hurts. He used his legs and he was passing too. Jalen heard the noise all week long, I'm sure. What's happening? Why is it stopping? I said, relax, pulse. Don't get your panties in a bunch. Breathe. Take a few deep breaths. Jalen Hurts will not be stopped. Whatever's not working currently, Jalen Hurts didn't forget how to run the football. Jalen Hurts didn't forget how to take what's there for him. They're figuring out this entire offense. AJ, finally, it's splash after splash with this dude. It's a 40-yard chunk play now. And he's wide open. There was one pass that Jalen Hurts missed, and I think ironically enough, again, it was Quez Watkins, but I'm not blaming Quez for this. It was a 3rd down, and Jalen Hurts missed him. The ball soared up, but Jalen was finding a lot of different dudes doing different things. Back foot to Dallas Goedert. Kenneth Gainwell, DeAndre Swift down in the flat or down as a check down or a screen pass, like getting him going a little bit. I think it was probably more of a check down, but yeah, I mean, getting DeAndre Swift going off the back foot, creating time, rolling out, sliding in the pocket, and then the ball was leaving his hand nicely. That wasn't happening week 2, but he didn't forget how to do this. They just need time. The Cincinnati Bengals, it's the same teams, but I'm just trying to give you examples around the league. Not everything's all dandelions over there. I wouldn't say Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs offense is lighting the lamp every single way you think it would with the Pat Mahomes. I bet you they do when it's December, though. I bet you they do when it's January. I bet you they do when it's playoff football. Absolutely. And what do? They're winning games. They're winning games. They already had their hiccup. The Eagles have yet to do it. And I started the preview pod in more of a down mode, thinking that I was basically just like everybody else it was very trendy to see this as, okay, the Eagles go on the road against a 500 team, and it's the first time they lose because you have to lose eventually. But as we talked through the show, about 20 minutes in or so, I completely changed, and I pretty much talked myself into realizing I'm only saying they're losing because I think it's impossible to go undefeated. Strategically speaking, this team is damn good. They are way better than Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp or anybody else on that offense. They are primed to win right now. They are what we watch Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs be. We are what we watch Josh Allen and the Buffalo's Bill be. They are legit contenders every year, and we need to recalibrate our brains into watching that. It's once again 5-0. Once again, an undefeated season as they roll into the middle of October, the next time they take the field. And oh, by the way, that's against the New York Jets team with a Zach Wilson. And I guarantee you that this defensive line eats them up. Even Jordan Davis had his name pop. This team left so many damn points on the board. The time of possession was embarrassing. They would have 13, 14, 15 play drives, 9-minute drives, 8-minute drives. Killer. That sucks the life out of you. And then Hassan Reddick, who's been on the sidelines waiting because their offense has been on the field for so damn long, they are fresh. Think of how they probably felt defensively. Worn down, defeated, dehydrated. They knew they couldn't stand a chance. And here's the Eagles constantly getting 4, constantly getting 5, getting it to 3rd and short, and then going to the best play in football only for them because no other team knows how to execute it because they don't have the talent level to execute it. Now it's 4th down. Here's the tush push, and boom, we're going again. We're doing it again. Here's another fresh set. We're coming in waves. We don't stop. We don't stop. I thought the 3rd down conversions were good. Long drives. So when Hassan Reddick is fresh as hell late, it's because of what your offense does. It's a cohesive team game at the end of the day. I'm so impressed. You know why? Because they're all mad and so angry, and they're not satisfied, yet they don't lose. Their goal and the way they target each week is almost be perfect. They want this to be executed and be a well-oiled machine because of probably how disappointed and devastated they are that they didn't win the championship last year. Well, you just wait, my friends, because if this is the way you attack week in and week out, we'll see probably 15 wins, kicking our feet up late, and then waiting for whatever team comes into South Philadelphia, and then we see some postseason ball, and then we eventually get an NFC championship game at home, and everybody knows in this town how fucking electric that is. There's nothing better than championship weekend in South Philly. I swear to God. But this team had some issues that, I don't know, makes me want to punch myself pretty hardly, unfortunately. Nick Morrow, an interception. Catch the football! They have the best kicker on planet Earth who's punting it the entire distance. Do you know how huge it is to get the football on an interception? But then the fumble happens, and the ball's bouncing every which way. Get on the football. How do you miss that one too? Very oddly, do you get a second chance? You don't even get a first chance. How often do you get an interception right there in your hands? Make the damn play. You have to make the catch. I don't care that you were once cut or once a practice squad guy and this is where you are in the team. You're playing. You're playing now. The impact has to be done now. And Morrow's done a very solid job. That's why I demand him to do it. He's a good player. He showed us that he's good, right? If I'm saying he did his job and he's getting the standing up for some of the amazing plays he's made over the last couple of weeks, all the tackles, well, then there's the standard, dude. Catch the football. Luckily, though, with 20, 30 seconds left in the half, the killer instinct kicked in. That's what this team was missing in the earlier weeks. Going down the field that quickly, getting a flag called on you just because you're significantly better than them, you're stronger than them, you force them to put their hand, horse collar, face mask, I forget which one that was, but it moves another 15 after the big explosive play, and you score. 7. Now I'm thinking of the Monica scene again. All right. We'll kick it to the phone lines. Here's the Phillies-Braves, game 1. Here's the Phillies-Marlins sweep. I'm looking at some of my folders. Okay, Eagles-Rams. I had it as Phillies-Rams. That's where you know my head is still in strictly baseball mode. I put Phillies-Rams as the title of the folder. Let's go to the phones.
Hey, what's going on, bros? Long-time listener, first-time caller. Going to say great win by the Birds. I love it, absolutely love it. But I will say, what the hell is up with that defense, man? Like, guys running all over the field. All 5 games we've seen people running around wide open. If you think that we're going to be able to do that against Miami in 2 weeks, we are absolutely crazy. Again, I do think that looking at the line, I'm seeing Lane Johnson over here doing people, and nobody said nothing about him. I would like to shout him out. Go Birds.
Lane Johnson was a killer for sure. With the defense, I'm finding the balance for me. I'm trying to walk that tight line of recognizing Sean Desai is working with a lot of scraps currently. Reed Blankenship's out there playing like his hair's on fire, and he has his 2 outside cornerbacks, but Avonte Maddox was supposed to be that nickel corner. And then Zach McPherson, if needed, would slide in because, sure, there is a resume of Avonte Maddox maybe not necessarily being able to stay upright, so you need a backup plan where there is a history of someone not capable of being on the field. You lose Zach McPherson, though. You lose that guy, and you lose a Sean Bradley. And I don't know necessarily what Sean Bradley would have been. We were looking at special team snaps as a huge loss when a lot of these bodies were falling before the season began. But this is what happens when we have to get by guys playing a ton. They look different in that second half. Cooper Kupp wasn't running all around you. So I think it's a mix of a lot of things. The people on the field aren't as good as the alternatives. New defensive coordinator who pushed buttons. Telling you, Cooper Kupp was not running everywhere after that first half. And he tried everything in the kitchen sink instantly. He didn't wait, and that was a big difference for me than Jonathan Gannon. I thought Gannon would stick to that to see if anything would change, and then eventually never ever change, but he would still stick with it too long. He went from guy to guy to guy to guy to guy to guy. Play, 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 play. New guy, new guy, new guy on Cooper Kupp. I almost wondered if he was giving it enough time to iron out the kinks possibly. Like, someone's going to get beat, right? But the second he got beat, nope, next guy. And I admire that. I do. It's like, okay, Slay. Okay, and he went right to Slay. I didn't beat around the bush with some of the weaker pieces I mentioned that he threw out there and some of the matchups. No. Eventually it was, okay, Slay, there you go, please. Show them why you're one of the best corners in the game. On top of the fact that your offense had the football a long period of time, the Rams weren't on the field a lot. Isn't that how this team won last year, though? You're begging, if you're the opposing team's quarterback, with your helmet in your hand, to please, defense, get a stop and get us the football. Let us try and do something. But they're aggravated because it's first down after first down. That's beautiful football. That's not going anywhere. That's a winning formula.
5-0, baby. 5-0. No one is going to stop this team. Jalen Hurts looking incredible today. Back to feeling himself. Couple nice runs. Absolute dimes with that shot to Goddard down the sideline. Incredible. And Hassan Reddick, welcome back to the game, baby. Back-to-back sacks. Beautiful. Love this team. Go Birds.
I was stoked for that Hassan Reddick thing. I wasn't prepared for it, quite frankly. I didn't have that on my bingo card today, that Hassan Reddick would force his way through and have that type of reaction. He was in it, man. He was in those feelings, and he let it out. And probably is frustrated because he thinks he could be making more of an impact week to week. Hell, we had callers last week on the Anytime Hotline throwing shade at Hassan Reddick saying, yo, we paid you big money. You were so good last year. And I'm like, yeah, we're 4-0. What are we doing? We're freaking out at Hassan Reddick. We're 4-0. Remember that happened. Hassan, he's back. He's back. He'll probably pop in another sack next week, if not 2. Same with Jalen Carter. That burst of Jalen Carter getting into the backfield was so sexy. That was so sexy. How did he do that? And he can burst right through the double team, too. Almost makes a play in the end zone right after. Dude's a maniac. Can't wait. I can't wait to see the progression week by week. Crazy.
5-0, baby. 5-0. Starting to feel a lot like last year. Phillies in the playoffs. Eagles undefeated. Feels fucking good. I'm sure there's a lot to clean up. I'm too fucking hammered to even think about any of that.
Okay.
And here, listen to this.
I popped one.
Feels good to be fucking winning, bros.
I wonder if that was a nice Miller Lite. It's a fine Pilsner. It says it right on the bottle. There's no way that they would lie to me there. This 5-0 start. It's funny you bring that up. I was talking to my wife about it. She watched the entire game with me, which isn't a given. Sometimes she wants to watch her Love is Blind. She wants to watch something else. I said, hey, are we watching the game together today? She said, yeah, absolutely. Come up. We'll light the fall candle. I had my Wawa specialty pumpkin spice latte. I never had one of these before. It was with the actual, I order it from the back kind of thing. I was using the kiosk, and I was like ordering it. It wasn't one of the ones that you just get. Oh, my God, this was the best thing I've ever had in my life. I need it again tomorrow. I'm getting it again tomorrow. I said, we watching this together? She was like, yeah, absolutely. I said, don't take this for granted, because last night we went out with a couple friends to watch the Phillies game. This isn't normal. Undefeated Eagles, weeks in, and a Phillies team that's beating the Atlanta Braves right now in the NLDS up 1-0. This isn't the norm. So let's soak this in and appreciate it, because similar to where the Patriots are now, before you know it, things change. All right? And they had 20-plus years of it, which I don't know what I would do for that, okay? Lots of things. Maybe some would put me in jail. I don't know. But I would do a lot of things for a 20-plus year Tom Brady run in this city. I'm sure a lot of you would. It goes away quicker than you think. I don't want to let this slip. That we have Jalen Hurts. I want to appreciate it. When you win in many different ways, well, he can't run. He shut that down. Well, he's not throwing the ball well. He shut that down. He's not seeing the field well. He shut that down. It's 5 weeks in. We shut all that down. What's next? We know they can run the ball. We know their offensive line's great. We know their defensive line's great. What now is, what do they do with the secondary while they're extremely banged up? What do they do with some guys that aren't returning this year at all that had season-ending surgery? How do you fill those holes? Very fair question. Very fair question. And the fact that we're not even really mentioning Fletcher Cox being a big loss, and that's no disrespect to Fletcher Cox. It's more of showing you how prepared this defensive interior roster is and how many names they can rely on and what Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter can do. Fletch was a problem last year. Remember he played like 90% of the snaps, 80, or maybe it was 70. It was something in that range of way too many damn snaps. And the team just looked awful, and they had no pass rush. And they had nothing. Fletcher Cox is the 180 of that last year. And there's a reason why. There's a man named Jalen Carter that every single offensive line has to focus on and bring multiple bodies to. It opens up the floodgates. And even Brandon Graham took a step back and showed you what life was probably like when he was 18 playing football. A big pop, rolled you over, steamrolled you. And what was the... Oh, I want to give a shout out to Crossing Broad. They use this term that I haven't heard in a while, and it reminded me of recess when you would play pickup football. My teacher, Mr. DiCamillo, would be the steady quarterback. We had the phone football, I'll never forget it. But they used a clip of Dallas Goedert. It wasn't actually Brandon Graham for this clip. Oh, no, really? Can't find it? Not the Schuylkill Shuffle. Nick Sirianni being pissed. Brotherly shove. A third down with Jalen Hurts. Oh, yeah, I guess they deleted it or something or whatever. But I'm pissed. I wanted to give you the term. It reminded me of recess. I wanted you to be there right there with me. Okay. Anyway. What Well, that thought went right out the window. What's next?
Bros, dude, it was not pretty. We should have had so many more points, touchdowns, but they just find a way to win. The MVP, or sorry, I should say the MVPs was the offensive line.
I can get behind the offensive line getting a lot of love. I could see them getting a big-time fist pump and hug from everybody in the locker room after the dub saying, thank you, boys. It's funny seeing Jason Kelce that animated on the sidelines. We know about his fiery personality, obviously, but I feel it's been a while since we've seen him with that level of intensity. No, I don't know. Unless there's one that's escaping me and it's pretty obvious. I think it's been a while since we've seen the entire team all wrapped up. And Nick Sirianni took not accountability because he's okay with it, but he said, look, this game's fun. I'm not able to make plays on the sideline, so it's not as if I'm in control out there. When good things happen, I want to appreciate it. It's an emotional game, and it's a fun game, and I want to react to the game. And, look, if anybody's taking shots at him saying it's unprofessional and it's not what I want out of a coach or anything like that, I'm past that. Maybe in the beginning when Nick Sirianni first got here and he was the nervous guy and he wasn't really able to be himself and it was weird and awkward and he had no track record, fine. But at this point, don't you think he's done enough to deserve the benefit of the doubt? I know messages get stale, and if you're A.J. Brown and you know he's a hothead and he's a diva and all that stuff, at some point does that run its course? And I don't know. I'm willing to give a team that's 5-0 and on their way to another Super Bowl trip after they just had a double-digit lead at the Super Bowl, pretty decent amount into the game. I'll wait on the passing judgment thing. I'll wait. I'll pass judgment. Is that the right term? I need to get some of these terms figured out before I spew them into a microphone, huh? All right, everybody. I love you to death. You're the greatest in the world. We'll be talking soon. Phillies play. Don't forget the Phillies have a big game. Love you guys to death. We'll be talking soon. See you on the next one.